we are again with a new video of this series. It's not really a series, I'm going to probably cap this off in a few weeks, but I thought, you know, the first one seemed to get a pretty decent reception, where I was giving you guys new recommendations for this month, this early part of the year, and you know, put people onto some new albums. And to be honest, since that first video, I found even more albums that I feel like people would really enjoy, so it just seemed like a no-brainer to do this again and give you guys another 5 albums for the early stages of 2021 that you should be checking out. It's one of those things, you know, there's just not a lot of huge music out at the moment. It is slowly picking up though. This past Friday, I'm recording this on a Sunday, I think it will go up today as well, by the way, but this past Friday there was actually quite a few bigger names dropping. I know there's a few albums that I'm anticipating for the 22nd of January too, so obviously it slowly starts picking up. But yeah, there is just that weird period between like Christmas and like maybe like the first few weeks of January, where there's just not really much that gets talked about, but there's actually some pretty solid releases that really fly under the radar, and I just want to be someone to champion these albums and give you guys a reason to check them out by telling you that they're pretty damn good. So no more baffling and waffling and fluffling about, because there's no point wasting time. I'm going to tell you 5 releases here. I want to start with Aaron Frazer, who is a member, or is an artist that works with Duran Jones, who dropped an album that got pretty positive reviews a few years ago. It's very much indebted to the soul genre, very much just sticking to that formula. It was a bit too formulaic for me, actually, that album that did drop. I think it was 2019. I think it was 2019. So I wasn't really sure what to expect with this Aaron Frazer guy, but actually, you know what? I think he did a pretty good job of giving us a really nice soulful mix of some really funky and slick tunes here, mostly soulful. I mean, there's the odd cliche lyrically, you know, there's the obvious track where he has to say mercy, mercy me, which I feel like every soul artist has to say that at some point. It's so funny. I feel like every soul album ever has that little mercy, mercy me thing. And you know, very saccharine in terms of like the lyrics generally, just very much about love and that kind of stuff. But I had a good time with this. Like, yeah, it's not the most original thing you'll ever hear, but man, these tracks are really smooth. The production's pretty damn good as well. His singing, he's like reaching into this falsetto, but he does it in such a tasteful way. It never gets annoying or grating, which I think sometimes singing in falsetto can do. But now this guy's got the chops. This guy's got something that needs more ears on. Like that first track particularly is a really smooth song. So yeah, be listening to this one. Next I want to mention Yungmorpheus, who is definitely an artist that's going to appeal to that abstract hip-hop crowd. I've tried putting this onto a few people already. I'm not entirely sure if people have given him a chance, to be honest. I'd like to think they have, but I don't know if they have. But I think this guy could appeal to your navy blue type fans, your Rap Ferreira fans too, by the way, who also dropped an album at the start of 2021, and maybe a bit of Open Mike Eagle too. I know I'm kind of just name dropping people there, but I'm just trying to sell this guy to make you know, aware of him, because if you're a fan of those rappers, I definitely think you'd like this guy. The 5th track particularly is really good. The production on this one is stellar. I love the beat here, and there's so many great beats across this album too, by the way, but this one particularly, Chateau de Yacum, I don't know how you say it. I don't know how you say it, but it is a really good track, and again, just kind of appeals to that just like really well produced abstracty type hip-hop stuff that I tend to like. And yeah, there's such an audience for this. Lyrically probably could be tidied up here and there, some really cliche like surface level observations occasionally. Like you could probably get a slightly better writing elsewhere, but I think on a musical level this is a good hip-hop release. Like this guy has got something, and I'd like to think we're going to hear more in the future as well from him, because this is good. I think he has a few albums before this, but still he's not a massive name, and I'd like to see him rise up the ranks. Was really impressed with Alphabet Holds Hostage with this EP here. I'm gonna have to note this one down because I want to, you know, keep going back to it because it is really bloody good. It's like this shoegaze, dream pop, noise pop like blend of ideas. It's got some heavy drumming across this thing. I like it when, you know, this brand of shoegaze has the really heavy drumming and like it kind of ends up swallowing up all the other instruments because, you know, the drumming's just so in your face. The vocals work really well too with everything that's going on. Honestly, such a great release, and really needs way more attention amongst your average, you know, shoegaze fans. But of course, they're not a well-known name, but hopefully by mentioning them in this video, you check them out because they really deserve it. Cacola next with this drum and bass release. I think the most recent Rate Your Music chart update found this one at the top at #1 of the 2021 charts, which is pretty great. And I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. You know, I'm not totally blown away by it, but I think it serves its purpose. I like the sort of heavier atmospheric drum and bass tracks more, especially than the last couple of tracks. It sort of detours into something a little bit different, but I guess you could end up appreciating that a lot more because there's some really like twinkly and pretty melodies that come through. It adds a bit of variety to the album too, so it's not just going for one thing at any one time. It is offering something slightly different to what you might expect from your typical drum and bass type stuff. But yeah, I think it's a pretty solid release. So if you haven't heard it already, you haven't seen it on Rate Your Music or anything like that, then give it a try, give it a try. And the last album I want to mention here is from an artist named Pearl Charles. A really lovely like country pop folk release, some Americana type stuff in there too. It's really quite dreamy and hazy. I did want to go back to this one a lot more than I have so far because I really like her voice, particularly on the opening track as well. The opening track is such a great track, man. And yeah, Pearl Charles just appeals to me so greatly. Anything that has a bit of a country twang to it, or like, you know, a folky twang to it, with a really beautiful vocalist taking control of these songs, it's just me all over. Like, I really like what she's doing here. A gorgeous listen, honestly, gorgeous listen, and a name that I'm not seeing get mentioned much at all, so of course I'm here to promote it and tell you guys to check it out. And yeah, that's 5 of them. I've mentioned 5 now, and that's the video. Here we go with part 2 of this sort of ongoing thing. Very diverse set of albums here. Like, we're going from shoegaze to drum and bass, like country type stuff, to soul, hip hop as well. So that there's got to be something for someone in this list. So hopefully you check out one of these, and maybe you could check out more than one. That would be great. And if you do, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me some releases that I haven't mentioned that I should be checking out as well, because I'm all for recommendations. Like I say, it's a pretty quiet period. It speeds up a little bit, but there's probably something I haven't listened to yet that would definitely be something up my alley. So if you found something, always just let me know. Even on social media as well, just drop a DM at any point on my Twitter or something. I'm fine with that. And that's it. That's the list here. I might do another one of these again at some point, depending on how many more releases I find. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you got something out of it. Do have a good day. Subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.